Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hormel Stadium in Medford, Massachusetts, right on the outskirts of Boston, Massachusetts, for tonight's Week 10 matchup here in the MLU in 2015 between the Boston Whitecaps and the New York Rumble. I'm Jeff Poster from Major League Ultimate. The Whitecaps coming in right now tied for first place in the Eastern Conference at 5-3. The Rumble, the cellar dwellers right now, 2-6, but looking to play the spoils at the Whitecaps' playoff hopes. The Rumble won the toss and elected to pull to start. Boston will start this on offense in the white jerseys with the blue numbers and trim as Josh Marquette finds Teddy Brouwer-Jaris. And New York in the green uniforms with the black numbers and trim with the pinstripes. This is the fourth and final matchup this season between the Rumble and the Whitecaps. Boston has taken the three previous matchups, including just a few weeks ago, the 31-24 weekend. And Boston has a turn, but looks like we have a call. Tyler Chan had the layout bid. And with the contact, Teddy Brouwer-Jaris will take it back up, get things going again. And now Boston looks to put it into the end zone. Tyler Chan again with the layout off his fingertips, and he can't come up with it as New York will get it back, or will get it for the first time. So Boston won the last matchup. That was in Week 7. They took the previous two, 20-13 in Week 2, and then a very low-scoring game, 14-12. It's kind of been an odd series of events between these two teams. They had a very low-scoring game, and then what was at the time the record-setting for goals scored as New York finds John Wodach. Nice one-handed grab, but then he floats this one a little too high, and Jeff Graham playing free safety out there ends up getting the catch D, and Boston will get it back. Here's Miles Montgomery Butler. Boston coming over a very thrilling victory last weekend on the road against the DC Current, which is what put them into first place in a virtual tie with the Philadelphia Spinners. Montgomery Butler swings it out with a flick to Tyler Chan. Chan looking to get it to Graham. Graham beating his man to the spot there. That's McNaughton on the far side. McNaughton, the hero last week, this time sends a flick out looking for Sidorsky, and Boston in for the first score of the game, Misha Sidorsky, and it's 1-0 Whitecaps. 1-0 is the score, 7:55 left to go in the first quarter, and New York will get their first look with their O-line as Bosco sends a high pass up. Tim McGugan reels it in. Vukovic, one of the three captains here for the Rumble this season. Ben Faust, or rather Gillies, excuse me. That's Anderson at midfield. Quickly up to Kocher. Kocher in the conversation for Rookie of the Year here in the Eastern Conference. Seems though it's mostly a two-man race between Billy Sickles and Tyler Chan, as Kuzmowicz had a big game last week against the aforementioned Philadelphia Spinners. He gets it to Bosco. Bosco looking to swing it out to the right. Back to Kocher. New York threatening into the end zone, looking at Boston with a couple of men back, and that's Jack Hatchett with the D. And Boston will look for their first break of the day. Alex Simmons will pick it up in the end zone, take his time getting back up to the goal line. Boston set up in a vertical stack. Misha Herskew at the back looking to make the first cut. Christian Foster on the other side. Cuts to the break side. He gets it to Herskew on the far side. Trying to swing it around. That's Sean Doherty. Doherty being forced to this flick. Foster right up to Ryan Richardson. Richardson feeds it into Herskew, beats Bosco to the spot and to the disc. Hatchett, there's one out. Foster, he's got to beat both Kuzmowicz and Joe Anderson. Maybe some contact, no call. And some good defense there from Joe Anderson, knocking it away from Christian Foster. McGugan walking back to pick this one up. 6:03 left to go in the first quarter. New York starting things off, looking for Kocher, floating out moving to his right. He has Simmons on him with the mark, sends it up to Anderson. Anderson against Ryan Richardson. New York moving quickly. Here's Vukovic. Nice cut. Striking cut from Kocher. He gets it back on that far side. New York again moving quickly. Here's Bosco. And a pick against the rumble. We'll send it back 10 yards.
All right, beautiful. That was a great first try. We will improve.
Kocher has it back after the whistle. Sends it out, and it's intercepted by Christian Foster. Here's Doherty, no mark on him. Herskew sends a backhand towards the end zone. Alex Simmons, he's not going to be able to catch up to that one as the wind carried it just enough. Ends up floating out the back. Boston still with the 1-0 lead as we're under 5 minutes, 4:50 left to go. Bit of a crosswind coming in towards the press box. Layout bid defensively is not there for Sean Doherty. And then New York just throws it away right through the hands of Kuzmowicz. Boston looking to capitalize, and they do as Christian Foster finds his way in the end zone from Jack Hatchett. And it's 2-0. Matt Heath pulling, spinning around to make that pull. It's a fairly long point. Boston ends up with their first break of the game. New York still looking for their first point. That's Hennessy finding Faust. Faust has Victor Liu, one of the Whitecaps rookies, on the mark. Definitely a size difference there. Faust gets it back from Anderson. Faust looking for his backhand. Sends it to Anderson, has to go to one knee. New York moving quickly again. Cross midfield. McGugan has it back. Anderson with a horizontal. This is going to float. And that's caught nicely by New York. They're looking to put it into the end zone, and it's just out of the outstretched hands of John Wodach. Wind definitely playing a factor here at Hormel Stadium. And Boston will look to break once again as Eric Wilburn recently returning to the Whitecaps after missing a couple of weeks. Sends it up to Terry Roth. Roth trying to get around the mark. Being forced on that away side. Now New York with the double team against Wilburn. Trying to sneak his way through. And we do have a stall called. Wilburn was trying to sell the foul. New York thought maybe they had been whistled for it and started jumping around in argument, and there had been no whistle. And it ends up just being a stall on Eric Wilburn, so New York will get it right back just 5 yards out of the end zone. And they float it in for the score. 2-1 now the score. Whitecaps still on top after New York got it right back, basically a hair away from the end zone, and now they will pull for the second time. Chris Mazer with the pull. This one is very short into the wind and just shy of midfield. Josh Marquette will pick it up to start things off. He has Little and Crinkley back as Boston sets up in a horizontal. Teddy Brower-Jarvis right at midfield looking for Tyler Chan. McNaughton, though, ends up coming over with the layout, and he can't get to it. Again, wind just maybe pushing it a little bit further away as Piers McNaughton can't get to it. Both teams actually without some notable players tonight. Boston, 3 guys that have played a lot for this team as Mazer sends one out looking for Wodach. It's going to hang at anyone's disc, and New York comes down with it. And they immediately put it towards the end zone, and we'll just die and hit the turf. That was Peter Kalmakis with the flick. Boston will get it back. So starting to say, Boston without 3 notable names, Matthew McDonald, Jake Taylor, and Brian Zidd, all out for tonight's game. Sam Kitross-Schnell has a disc right now. This is his first touch. Here's Matt Little looking for Chan. He's got him. Brower-Jarvis trying to deal with Mazer, finds Crinkley. To go low. Speaking of going low, this Kitross-Schnell, one of Boston's biggest players, going down low for that catch. Gets it to Little. Little finds McNaughton. Boston really stretching out. Now Tyler Chan with a nice cut, and he's in the end zone for their third score of the game. 3-1. The Whitecaps now on top of the Rumble. Christian Foster with the pull with 1:25 left to go in the first quarter. After Tyler Chan's score, New York will get it back. That's Patton starting this off, getting to Bosco. Kuzmowicz. Matt Heath coming up quickly for the mark. Sends a flick out to his right. New York looking again for the end zone. If they can get there, it's going to be a score, and they do. New York with just a couple of throws, and they make it 3-2. Chris Kocher with the last score for the New York Rumble. Mazer pulling. It's a low one. Miles Montgomery Butler picks it up, immediately sends it out to Josh Marquette. Marquette had a phenomenal game against the DC Current 1 week ago. He sent it to Jeff Graham. Graham, who has been nursing a hamstring injury for the last couple of weeks, he said, feels good tonight, though. It's the best he's felt in a while. Quickly sends a flick out. Chan, nice leaping one-handed grab. Looking to send it back to Graham. Graham gets it on the reset. Alarcon coming over for the mark. Fakes him out big, and he's got Marquette. Marquette. OI to Kitra Schnell. Boston looking to finish off the final 24 seconds here. Here's Montgomery Butler. Trying to get around Alaro. Marquette. Clock winding down, 15 seconds, puts a hammer towards the end zone, sliding for the grab and making the catch. Jeff Graham. Superman is back for the Whitecaps and puts the Boston up 4-2. 12 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Jeff Graham with his first goal in several games as he's been, as I said before, hindered by that hamstring injury. New York with a chance here. 8 seconds. They have the disc right at midfield. They send a couple of guys back. Wodach in a crowd, and it's D'd up nicely. Kitra Schnell playing defense there, and that is how the end of the first quarter will happen as Boston goes up 4-2 here at Hormel Stadium.
Canterbury, the official apparel supplier to Major League Ultimate. Dress like a pro. Visit www.canterburyus.com, the destination for all your team's custom uniforms and athletic apparel needs. Canterbury, proud partner of Major League Ultimate, committed to the game. Go to discstore.com to purchase official merchandise of Major League Ultimate, game discs, apparel, accessories, and more. Discstore.com is the world's premier supplier of Ultimate Frisbee products and the official store of the MLU. Discstore.com, that's discstore.com. Wear the same Ultimate gloves as the pros. Friction Gloves helps your throws and catches in all conditions. To find out more information and get a pair, visit frictiongloves.com.
Second quarter action set to begin at Hormel Stadium. Boston on top 4-2. Jeff Poster for Major League Ultimate. Week 10 action. Just one game left after tonight before we get set for the playoffs across the league. And what's been fun about the Eastern Conference this year is we still have no idea what two teams out of Philadelphia, Boston, and DC will be the two teams fighting to represent the East at the MLU Championship once again at PPL Park in Philadelphia this season. Boston trying to make themselves one of those two teams to fight for that, and they have a 4-2 lead as Kocher gets it back from Bosco, sends it right back to Bosco. There's Mazer, this time out with the O-line. He's been primarily on the D-line in the latter part of this season as New York has tried to make as many adjustments as they can. They've struggled for the most part. McGugan trying to get it to Mazer. Bit of a low throw, and the former MVP can't dig it out. Here's Boston looking for another break opportunity. Jack Hatchett. Ben Katz, first action of the night for him, finds Misha Herskew. Eric Stevens takes a tumble in the middle of the stack. Ryan Richardson dumps it back to Stevens, and we have a whistle. Pick against Boston, so Richardson will have to take the disc back and march 10 yards backwards. Right at the 30-yard line here at the Medford High School football field. That's Hormel Stadium. And another one.
I'm seeing yellow flags everywhere. I can barely keep up with them. Now the Whitecaps backed up to the 30. A lot of space to play with.
And a nice hand block as Richardson can't get around his mark. And New York with some good defense gets the disc back. Down 2. Mazer starting things off. Sends a pass up high. Kocher reels it in. Trying to keep it moving around. Kuzmowicz around Richardson. Near side, that's Vukovic. Vukovic with the huck downfield, looking for McGugan. Doherty coming over, and McGugan beats him in the spot. And then Gillies is all alone for the score. New York taking advantage of the Boston turn, and it's now 4-3. New York using their first timeout after their score and looking to pull, and Chris Mazer with a nice job. Sends it out the back of the end zone, so Boston with a difficult task here to get it out of their own end. Here's Piers McNaughton. Dumps it back to Marquette. Marquette finds Kitrosh Schnell quickly up to Tyler Chan right in front of the New York sideline. He's double teamed immediately. Garrity and Kofer. Here's Teddy Brouwer-Jarris. Marquette directing traffic against Joe Anderson. Stall count getting up high, finds Kitrosh Schnell wide open. Kitrosh Schnell immediately gets it back on a give and go to Marquette. He fakes a big huck, trying to get around the long arms of Anderson. He's double teamed on the sideline. Nice step forward to Marquette. Boston keeping it on the sideline. Now they look to swing it out. It's going to be tough. Miles Montgomery Butler with a layout grab. Nice job by the veteran. And he gets it to Teddy Brouwer-Jarris. Kitrosh Schnell looking for McNaughton. And he beats Marquez Brownlee to the spot. And Piers McNaughton, his 3rd point of the game, his first goal, to go along with 2 assists as Boston goes up 5-3. Boston up 2 once again with 7:05 left to go. Our referees tonight, Max Lloyd, Scott Burns, Jason Dumont, Travis McGrath, Jonathan Levy operating the clock, and Sean Miller as our head official tonight. New York once again looking to get this back to a 1-goal game. They send a big flick out towards midfield. They run it down nicely. Gillies was trying to cut deep. Hatchett backs off and picks up him as Vukovic is in control. Patton gets it back to Vukovic. Vukovic sending a flick, and there's some contact, but it's after a drop by New York. Sam Richardson was tangled up. And now the Whitecaps will look to break once again. Simmons starts it off, gets it to Hatchett. Hatchett with a flick. A long way down the field for Sean Doherty. He's going to be just shy of the end zone. He has to bring it back out. Terry Roth trying to get free. Sean Doherty, double teamed.
Oh, and there's some extracurricular activities now going on. A stoppage of play and a turnover, incredible.
I think they called Doherty for a travel. And New York will take it back. He had no mark on him initially, so it couldn't have been a stall. And now Mazer angrily draws some contact with Richardson and will take the 10 yards.
New York getting a couple extra yards there at the end of that play.
Mazer near midfield, sends it back. Kocher. Kuzmowicz tracks that one down, flicks this one out, looking for Mazer, one-handed, he can't grab it, and Jack Hatchett will take it back. That's a catch that Mazer should make. And just hit his hand, he can't come down with it. Hatchett with the flick, using the wind, looking for Victor Liu. He's going to run this one down, read it nicely. He's again shy of the end zone, dumps it back. Doherty has it. And then he puts it into Liu. Victor Liu with the score, and it's 6-3 for Boston. Boston using their first timeout after their last score is 5:03 left to go in the second quarter, and look for the midfield pull as Christian Foster has been the go-to guy for this, and once again, it looks like he's Gonna finally get beat on one of those, and New York just can't come up with it. That was Chris Gwinner. He let it roll right past him. Now Boston with an opportunity to pin New York back into their own end zone, but they immediately huck it out deep. Looking downfield, Foster coming over defensively, and what a grab there. Ben Faust right over Foster as he skies him for the grab. Hennessy looking for Wodach on the strike, shakes him off. He's got Faust there. New York with a push pass to Joe Anderson, and smash ends up coming in with the score, and it's 6-4 as New York moves quickly down the field. 6-4 the score with 4:27 left to go. New York getting the pull from Alon Brown. It's a short one once again. Matt Little picks it up. Marquette. Piers McNaughton was miles down the field all alone for a minute. He comes under. McNaughton gets it back, trying to dump it to Marquette, who beats Alarcon to the spot. Marquette trying to get around Alarcon, finds Crinkly. Crinkly sends it out to Little. Little gets it to Misha Sidorsky. He had to really work against Josh Alaro. There's Little. He has to take a step in towards the disc, gets it right on the edge of the end zone. Marquette trying to give him a dump cut. Instead, he goes into Cantrell Schnell, who goes in for the score. Boston now up 7-4, maintaining this lead.
Little mini frisbees. You see the goal we've set up there to my left.
7-4 as Boston maintains this 3-goal lead, and we approach the end of the first half. 3:47 left to go. Bosco picks it up. Kocher has it. Gets it over to Patton. Kocher right back. Kocher and Patton just playing catch right now. There's Anderson. Anderson, nice grab from Patton, sliding the grab with one hand. Pushes out to Vukovic. Kuzmowicz all alone in the end zone. And New York continues to just trade goals here with Boston. And it's 7-5. New York using their final timeout after the last score will pull from midfield once again. This one is going to hang up in the air for a little bit. Brief roll right into the hands of Jeff Graham. Gets it immediately Marquette, who's double teamed by Alarcon and Anderson. Montgomery Butler. Boston trying to get it out of their end zone. There's Graham with a flick. Up the sideline, Teddy Brouwer-Jarris. With some time, he sends the I.O. flick, looking for Sidorsky, and that's taken away by John Wodach. Ben Faust thought about unleashing a huck. Garrity, this one's going to float. Can Brown get over and stay in? He's out of bounds. Boston will get it back. 2:37 left to go. Marquette stuck on that sideline, sends a scoober back to Montgomery Butler. Anderson coming over. They get it to Sidorsky. Beats the layout defensive bid. Sidorsky airs this out. Teddy Brouwer-Jarris is going to be tough for him to catch up to, and he's not going to. Wind has definitely played a factor in tonight's game. As I said, it's a bit of a cross breeze, mostly favoring the left to right movement. So scoring in this end zone, you will have most of the wind to your back. Faust floats this one up. It's going to be close, and Brown couldn't come down with it. Boston might have been able to score, but they do right there anyway. So Teddy Brouwer-Jarris, who couldn't catch up to the last one, gets the easy catch this time from Marquette, and it's 8-5. Just 1:49 left to go here in the second quarter. Boston used their final timeout and will once again pull from midfield. Christian Foster again. He'll try and get past New York's line. Sends it over them. Vukovic over, Bosco there as well, and again, Foster manages to get it out the back of the end zone. I don't think he's had a chance yet this season with that half-field pull where he has not put it out the back. Nice grab by Kuzmowicz. Eric Stevens coming over. New York quickly out of the end zone. They have it to Vukovic. Vukovic sends it across field, looking for Gillies, and he's got him. They dump it back on the reset. They're going to put this one up into the end zone, and New York again. Robbie Gillies with his second score of the game, and it's 8-6. The Rumble maintaining pace here with the Whitecaps in the second quarter. Both teams equal now at 4 goals apiece, but Boston still with that 2-goal lead at 8-6. And with the disc, Marquette over the top, finds Broward Jarrett, sends a flick out to McNaughton. Dumps it back to Broward Jarrett. Finds Kitrosh Schnell. There's Garrity on him. Here's Marquette. Marquette steps around his mark, gets a backhand off. Broward Jarrett threatening, and it's just knocked away. They do call some contact as Broward Jarrett. That would be a very rare mistake for him to just drop the disc like that. So he'll take it back, tries to get around the mark, and he's going to lead Kitrosh Schnell, who lays out and makes a grab. With just 25 seconds left to go in the second quarter, Boston now up 9-6. 25 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Chris Mazer ends up getting banded after the last score by Boston. Now New York will have to start deep in their own end zone, but throwing into the wind, as the Whitecaps were, or pulling, I should say, will still end up with a short pull. McGugan unleashes, looking downfield. Gillies gets there, but Jack Hatchett beats him to it and knocks it away. Boston might have a chance if they can get the disc quick enough. 10 seconds left to go.
Gentlemen, unbelievable. What a turn of events here as time ticks down.
But they'll just let the clock tick away. And that's the way the first half comes to an end with a Boston defensive play by Jack Hatchett. We head into halftime. The Whitecaps on top of the Rumble. It's 9-6 at Hormel Stadium.
Stop your hands from sweating and increase your performance with Gamer Grip. This non-sticky solution allows you to make better throws and grab better catches without a hint of slippage. Innova is proud to support Major League Ultimate and its incredible athletes. As the official disc of the MLU, the Innova Pulsar has quickly become the disc of choice at Ultimate's highest level. Visit innovadisc.com to find a dealer near you. Can Jam, proud sponsor of MLU 2015. Can Jam is a fast-paced disc game perfect for the backyard, tailgating, or warming up for Ultimate. Get Can Jam today at the team store or online at canjam.com. Use bonus code ULTIMATE for 10% off your purchase.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Hormel Stadium. As we get set to start the third quarter, it's 9-6, Boston on top of the New York Rumble, and I can now say the playoff-bound Boston Whitecaps is this game that happened earlier this evening. The Philadelphia Spinners defeated the DC Current 17-14. So if Boston holds on to this, next week's game against Philadelphia will be a battle for home field advantage in the playoffs. Here's Jeff Graham. Had a goal in the first half. Finds Marquette. Marquette had a nice first half. Couple of assists. Goals were scored by Sidorsky, Foster, Chan, and Graham in the first quarter. McNaughton, Lou, Kitrosh Schnell, Broward Jarrett, and then Kitrosh Schnell again in the second quarter for Boston. New York had Faust, Kocher, Gillies, Anderson, Kuzmowitz, and then Gillies once more. And that's how we have our 9-6 score. Here's Broward Jarrett right in front of the Boston sideline. Finds Tyler Chan. Able to stay in bounds, lunges out with a backhand, and Marquette is in the end zone for Boston's 10th score of the night, and 9:05 left to go here in the third quarter. Here's Christian Foster pulling for the Whitecaps, now back up by 4 after they were able to get the late score and the D to end that second quarter, and started with the disc here in the third. There's Faust. This was easily labeled a trap game for Boston, as they most likely could be looking ahead to the game against Philadelphia. So far, so good for the Whitecaps, but New York definitely still in this with plenty of time. Faust at midfield. Swings it over to Gwinner. That's Hennessy. Finds Kocher. Kocher with a flick. Kuzmowicz. New York. Some short passes, but high percentage ones as they move slowly down the field. There's Anderson. Gwinner gets it back. Faust. Gwinner looking towards the end zone. Kocher, can he get over? He does. Looked like he initially lost it with his read, but recovers and gives New York their 7th goal as they trail 10-7. New York pulling to Boston is Matt Little. Just going to let this one sail over his head. We'll stop at the in front of the back of the end zone. That's Marquette. Trying to get around Alarcon. Swings it back, Joe Crinkley. Broward Jarvis now out of the end zone. Quickly up to Chan. Chan unloads, looking for Kittros Schnell. He beats Alon Brown. McNaughton with the one-handed grab. McNaughton trying to get around Brownlee, sends a flick. It's Blady, but Kittros Schnell, despite being one of the tallest guys on the team, gets down low and reels in his 3rd score of the game. And it's 11-7 with 7:43 left to go. Matt Heath pulling once again for the Whitecaps.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear the chants? How does that make you feel?
Patton
I can only hear rumble
will
chants. Let's hear some
reel it
chants
in
for
and
the
send it over to
Whitecaps.
Bosco.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bosco
show
finds
love at your
Vukovic.
home field.
Andrew Bosco has
These
been
are your guys, though.
flawless for this New York Rumble
All
team this
the
season.
Whitecaps
Has
have to do is sit there and
yet to
enjoy
commit a
it.
turnover. So he reels in that
Let's see
catch
the
again.
defense.
And that one's D'd up. Terry Roth. Just like that, Bosco throws it, and Terry Roth with the bookends. And the backflip has Boston up 12-7. 7:20 left to go. Should probably apologize to Andrew Bosco, falls victim to the old announcer jinx. We've just been talking about his lack of turnovers and ends up throwing that one away. And now McGugan can't connect with Hennessy. It had it right on his hands. Might have bounced off his chest, but Boston will take it back. Eric Stevens can't find the disc in the New York Rumble sideline. They tap it in. Stevens swings it out, centers it to Katz, looking to complete the swing. Up to Jack Hatchett. Boston looking for back-to-back breaks. Hatchett unloads. The flick is tipped up in the air, still a chance. A nice job there by Gwinner, who tipped it up. And then Hennessy again just drops it out of his hands. And this time they will find Ben Katz. Eric Stevens to Ben Katz, as Boston is just up and up this 3rd quarter and now leads 13-7. 6:36 left to go. Matt Heath once again pulling. Whitecaps would love to ride their defensive line for as long as they can here in this game. And now leading 13-7. Ryan Richardson coming out to mark. Ben Faust. Michael Hennessy notably absent on this point for New York. Having some difficulties. Last 2 points. And this one is bobbled initially, but able to reel it in is Gwinner. There's Vukovic trying to get around Alex Simmons. This one floats a little too high and reeling that in. Kuzmowicz might be the smallest guy on the field, but he skies up for the grab. And now a travel.
You can see the orange armband of shame on the field. Number 6 for the Rumble.
So Boston's going to get this disc back.
Looks like the Whitecaps taking over now in the center of the field. Number 12 with the disc.
A shame for New York as Kuzmowicz had just made a phenomenal grab.
6-goal advantage.
Alex Simmons sends that out. Herskew tracks it down. Herskew, a very low throw and not even close for Ryan Richardson. That's Patton. Looking for Kuzmowicz. That time he can't get up high. And our first look at Cody McInnes tonight is he ends up beating him to the disc. Matt Heath dumps it. No, he doesn't. Looked like he was trying to get it to Alex Simmons. Looking to send it into the end zone. And this time he does get it to Simmons, but not on a dump, on a score. And all of a sudden the Whitecaps have doubled the Rumble score and lead 14-7. 5:03 left to go.
Here we go.
Whitecaps trying to roll this pull. Get it past the midfield mark. And will immediately double team McGugan. Comes in, has to deal with Eric Stevens and Adrian Banerjee. McGugan, a hammer out to Henderson. He's got no chance at catching up to that one with the wind. And Boston already riding a 3-break run. Will look for their 4th. 4:46 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Eric Stevens picks this one up. Trying to get around a double team. Nice low throw. Gets it out to Victor Liu. Ben Katz is poached all alone. Adrian Banerjee with a one-handed grab. Hatchet, low throw. Stevens, they find Foster on the near side. Boston doing a nice job using both sides of the field. Stevens with a striking cut. They don't look his way. Instead, they reset to Banerjee and center the disc. Banerjee trying to get around Anderson. Finds Stevens. Eric Redshirt Stevens, a 3rd-year Whitecap veteran, finds Christian Foster. Foster in the name for MVP as well as Jack Hatchett bobbles and holds on. I don't think he knew that was coming to him at first, but he gets one hand on it, pushes it to the chest, and all of a sudden Boston is up 8, 15-7 with 1 tick under 4 minutes left to go. 3:59 left to go. Whitecaps with an 8-goal lead, 15-7. Matt Heath pulling once again to New York. Bosco reels it in. New York used a timeout. Try and settle themselves down just a bit. Here's Gillies. And that one is knocked away. Misha Herskew might have had a hand on it. As Boston has already scored 4 straight breaks. Just looking for their 5th and in pretty good field position. Cody McInnes. And we have an injured player down for New York. That's Kocher. He's up on his own. Boston used the same opportunity to put Josh Marquette in. First action any O-line player has seen for the Whitecaps in quite some time. Terry Roth takes a seat.
Number 1 now on the field for the Whitecaps. As they look to score here, extend their lead late in the 3rd period.
Simmons finds Herskew. Herskew with a flick over to Richardson. McInnes. McInnes trying to get around a mark. Finds Marquette, who's double teamed, Hennessy and Bosco. Oh, he fakes both of them out and has a wide open lane, but he can't connect with Richardson on the slide. There's a low throw, but New York with a chance to get it back. Hennessy will start, Marquette will come over and mark him. Hennessy finds Bosco. Back to Hennessy. Wodach. Wodach launches one downfield. It's turning to the right. Vukovic has it. Richardson D's it up, but he can't D's it forward, and there's Gillies. And Richardson is hurt after the play. That'll bring Christian Foster back in. New York will still have it. Now they'll set up in a vertical. Gillies will start. Handling here for New York. Flicks it out. Wodach, it's in and out of his hands, but it finds its way into Kuzmowitz's hands. And New York finally gets one back and trails 15-8 now. Chris Mazer will pull with 2:21 left to go. His first pull from New York since they scored their 7th goal when it was 10-7. And Boston reel off 5 straight points. Our first look at Boston's O-line. McNaughton has it. It's Alarcon. Dumps it back. Marquette lays out, and he can't get a hand underneath it, securing the disc. It'll be a turn, and New York will look to get another one back. Alarcon starts it off. Wodach all alone, no mark on him. Flicks it out to his right, and backing up and making the catch is Hennessy. And New York quickly gets a second one back, and it's 9-15. 15-9, correction, that's Andrew Hollingworth scored the last one for New York, not Michael Hennessy.
The Whitecaps back on offense, looking to
The
respond
beards
here
confused me.
late in the
Both
third period.
players, very thick beards on their face. 1:43 left to go here in the third quarter. Teddy Brouwer-Jaris has the disc, lines up for a big huck, looking for Sam Kittros-Schnell. He's been an all-star tonight, and he continues as he scores another one here. And Boston gets one back, 16-9. Jack Hatchett pulling for the Whitecaps. Try and roll one out.
And another tough break there.
And we'll come right to midfield.
Whitecaps, they'll take over. Check that, the Rumble taking over now.
McGugan, Wodach was all alone. Hatchett poaching defensively, and it doesn't work out as Kuzmowicz just races into the end zone. And that's just what New York needs to do, is some quick scores. And they cut it to 16-10.
Need the audience.
New York cuts it back to 6. And now they have a short pull that goes out of bounds right at midfield.
For their Boston Whitecaps, there they are.
Boston's O-line back out there, though. Actually, this one landed out of bounds, so that's just a flat-out brick.
Number 1 with the disc.
With Boston's O-line out there, we've noticed Jeff Graham appears to be done for the evening. He has not played with the O-line now in quite some time. So he said still nursing that hamstring injury. Boston will have him healthy for the playoffs. This one floats a little too high over Teddy Brouwer-Jaris. And New York with a chance to break. That's Hollingworth. Looking to get it to Alaro. He does. Alaro swings one out deep. Down into the end zone. It's D'd up by Boston. No! New York somehow comes out. That was Wodach at the other end. But they're not going to call it a goal. He did not have it. Tried to sell it,
We'll get confirmation on that.
but it's a drop.
And Whitecaps taking over now deep in their part of the field.
Well, Marquette will start it.
Whitecaps deep.
There it is. Whitecaps luck out that time.
With 40 seconds left in the period.
Marquette finds Brouwer-Jaris. Teddy unloads. Crinkly downfield, trying to beat Wodach. Wodach overtaking him,
And it's just a little bit.
and it just sails too far.
Rumble taking over with the
And New York will get it back at the other end of the field. Here's Alaro, finds Brownlee.
in the period.
Just 18 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. New York with a chance to close it out with a score, cut it to 5.
Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen.
Wodach, not a very good throw. Boston might have a chance here with 5 seconds left. Marquette has the disc, good field position. They put it in Tyler Chan. He's got Sidorsky at the back of the end zone all alone. And what a way to close out the third quarter. Boston does it with a score, and we'll head into the fourth with a 17-10 lead here at Hormel Stadium.
That's Misha Sidor.
Point Six Socks, the official sock sponsor of Major League Ultimate. Check out www.point6.com for their full line of performance merino wool socks. Skippy, the official peanut butter of the MLU, made with the funnest peanuts ever. Skippy Yippee! Do you have an athletic event, team trip, or corporate outing coming up? If so, charter a private bus, minibus, or party bus from U.S. Coachways. Bus travel is one of the safest, greenest, and most comfortable ways to get your group to an event. If you're going with a group, trust U.S. Coachways. That's what we do.
Let's hear who thinks the Whitecaps are going to take home the gold today.
Final quarter here at Hormel Stadium, 17-10 the score. Boston pulling left to right. And a great pull. The back of the end zone. Jeff Poster for Major League Ultimate. Week 10 action. The playoff-bound Whitecaps officially, as the Philadelphia Spinners defeated the DC Current earlier today. That's Hennessy for the Rumble. Nice grab by Joe Anderson, sliding and making the catch. He's got Ryan Richardson to deal with. Gets it right back to Hennessy. Hennessy unloads, looking into the end zone, and they've got it.
And the Rumble coming down with
New York with a score. They cut it to 6, 17-11.
come down and claim them just to my right here. We'll be waiting.
Dave Vukovic with the last score for the Rumble as they pull. Another good pull and towards the back of the end zone. Wynn definitely assisting on pulls in that direction. It's Marquette. Flicks it out to Sidorsky. Brouwer-Jaris. Looking for Chan. Thread the needle. McNaughton, he just takes off using that speed. It's going to hang up in the air. And McNaughton beats Alarcon to the spot and to the score. Piers McNaughton with the speed. He gets Boston's goal right back, and it's 18-11. Boston regains their 7-goal lead, and they pull once again. Everything so far in this fourth quarter has been to this direction. There's a scoring frenzy for the Whitecaps that last time out in the third quarter. Marquette, Kitrosh, Schnell, Roth, Cat, Simmons, and Boston gets a D here. Hatchet, Kitrosh, Schnell again, and Sidorsky. And that time, it's Victor Liu with his second score of the game here in the fourth quarter, and it's 19-11. Boston pulling right to left this time. Bosco gets it. Hennessy. Wodach. Airing this one out. Vukovic down there. Cats defensively, and this one will sail out the back, and ooh! They got to be careful there as Vukovic hits the goalpost. It has the padding there, but not what you want to see. And it looks like both Katz and Vukovic are okay. Sam Richardson appears to be done for the night for the Whitecaps. He has a bag of ice over his shoulder after he injured it. And all of a sudden, Eric Wilburn, a bit of a struggle against Bosco, loses it right away. Bosco looking to put it in, and he does to Hennessy. And that's the 12th goal of the night with 8:14 left to go to in the fourth quarter. Oh. Well, we do have a penalty, so this one will come back. A pick against the Rumble. So that'll end up backing them up 10 yards. Joe Anderson this time lets the disc float a little bit, and now the Rumble get their 12th score. This time it's Anderson. After they score their last point, so they'll pull from midfield. Chris Mazer has the disc. Boston stretch out across the line, looking to stop it. Matt Little stopping the disc. It's still decently into their own end zone, though. They dump it back to Marquette. There's Little again, right at center. A low throw. Brower Jars goes to one knee and grabs it. Boston moving very quickly upfield. Now they slow down. New York catches up with their man defense. Marquette on the far side, trying to get around Anderson, sends a scooper over the top to Brower Jarris. Teddy was looking for a dump, instead sends a flick, headed out towards Kitrosh Schnell. He leaps and he can't get high enough. That will sail over his head. And New York will get it back. Ben Faust is out there with the defensive line. Anderson lets one rip downfield. That's Garrity there, and sails over his head and out of bounds. 6:55 left to go in the game.
Let's go, chaps. Caps, cheer going, ladies and gentlemen. Bah, bah, bah. Bah, bah, bah.
Marquette will start it off, immediately double team, gets it back to Joe Crinkley. Gets it back, here's Little. Swings it around to Sidorsky on the near side. Sidorsky continues the motion. Mazer might get over there and collides with Kitrosh Schnell. No foul. Kitrosh Schnell, though, has to be hurting a little bit after that one. He took all of Chris Mazer right in his side. And Mazer is immediately stalled out after. He's not happy about it. Kitrosh Schnell takes off, and Marquette is getting tangled up in the double team. Mazer was looking for a travel. Garrity was there as well in the double team. And they're just going to call a foul. Mazer very heated. Can't believe it. And Marquette will take it 10 yards forward. Little gets to McNaughton. Here's Little again. 5.5 approximately left to go here in the game. Broward Jarvis right up to Marquette, beats Mazer to the spot, and then he feeds it in. Sidorsky once again here. Misha Sidorsky having a nice night for himself, his third goal of the game. 20-12, 5:26 left to go as Whitecaps have an 8-goal lead over the Rumble. This one skips off the Skippy sign and out of bounds. So New York will take this near midfield. It's a big bladey flick, and it's going to be picked off by Christian Foster. As now Whitecaps looking for a break. This is going to be close. Stevens leaps up and makes the one-handed grab over Hennessy, and Boston now with 21 on the night for Eric Stevens. Boston continues to push their lead, 21-12, 5:08 left to go. And another good pull, and it's dropped. So Boston with excellent chance here.
A slip up there for New York. It looks like now the Whitecaps taking over the offense now with a chance to put another one in the
Boston looking for number 22. Alex Simmons will start things off. Ryan Richardson making a cut, and Richardson scores. Right from the back of the stack, Ryan Richardson with his first goal of the night. And it's now 22-12. 4:43 left to go, 22-12. Chris Gwinner dropping that pull for New York, and Boston easily able to put it in. New York immediately airing this one out. Vukovic can't catch up to it. Off the big put from Ben Faust. Under 4.5 left to go. Boston just looking to kill as much clock as they can with the disc. And we'll look forward to their matchup right here at Hormel Stadium next week against the Philadelphia Spinners in what will be a battle for home field advantage in the Eastern Conference Finals, as it will be a matchup between the Spinners and the Whitecaps. So you get a preview. Richardson finds Hatchett. Hatchett over to Lou. Lou. This one will float, but Herskew reads it nicely. Hatchett on the far side. Hatchett again. Herskew all alone. Brings that one in. Simmons. Boston looks to center it. A blade over to Richardson. Richardson finds Lewis off his hands. He's got a second chance, and he comes down with it. Is he in for the score? No, just in front of the end zone. Way to stick with it is Victor Liu. There's a lesson for any young Ultimate player. Never give up on a play. Terry Roth now with the disc. Simmons has it. Looking to feed it in. He finds Jack Hatchett. And there's 23 for number 27. As the Whitecaps now have a 23-12 lead. Christian Foster pulling. Just 3:10 left to go. Boston with a commanding 23-12 lead. Gwinner starts it off, gets it up to Mazer. As New York is out in a horizontal stack. Bosco trying to get around Eric Wilburn. Gwinner. Has it back to Mazer. Mazer sends this one to Bosco with the flick. Back to Gwinner. New York played this game relatively close for much of the first half, and then Boston must have talked about something in the locker room at halftime as they just opened it up, outscoring New York in every quarter so far, but really the third quarter was the big one, 8-4. And right now have a 6-2 advantage here in the fourth as New York throws that one away. And that should bring us to the 2-minute mark here. Eric Wilburn will pick it up. Oh no, they'll go to Eric Stevens. One of the Erics will pick it up. Stevens being forced along that line by Wodach. Sends a long flick out to Katz. Gwinner coming over defensively. Ben Katz with 2 hands reads it nicely. Dumps it back to Foster. Foster taking a little bit of a bump from Mazer. Sends a long blade out to Katz. He lays out and makes the grab. The UMass Amherst product, Ben Katz, with the score. His second one of the night. And Boston up 24-12. 24-12. Boston was once again doubled New York's score for the second time tonight. They had a 14-7 advantage at one point. There's some confusion with Boston trying to set their line. Matt Heath was, I think, supposed to be out there and couldn't get there in time, so Teddy Brower-Jaris finds himself turning back the time machine and playing on the defensive line like he did the first 2 seasons. There's Alarcon trying to get around Brower-Jaris and Terry Roth and some contact, I believe, against Roth.
But just a reminder, please do not come down on the field after the game. The Whitecaps will be available for jersey signings and autographs at the Burren.
They're only going to call it an offensive foul against Alarcon, saying that he bumped into Roth or Brower-Jaris. And we're under a minute now, so Boston can pretty much run out the clock here on offense. Simmons will start things off. He tried to run out the clock against the DC Current a week ago. Said Jack Hatchett will send it deep anyway, and Victor Liu will get another score for the night and try and slam dunk it over the goalpost, but can't do that. 25-12 now the score. Matt Heath with one more pull here for Boston. A final 38 seconds left. As Boston will improve to 6-3. New York will fall to 2-7. Again, Boston will meet Philadelphia next weekend right here at Hormel Stadium. It's a 5 o'clock start, and it will also be the MLU Live Game of the Week as Sean Doherty tees this one up. Hands it over to Ryan Richardson. If you can't make it out to Hormel Stadium, you can join myself and Dusty Rhodes on the call for that one. But that's going to do it as we wind down the final 10 seconds. Richardson doesn't even have to make a throw. He will anyway. Matt Heath will hold on to the disc, and Boston will meet Philadelphia here next week for a battle and a playoff preview. The winner will have home field advantage in the Eastern Conference Finals. Our final score tonight, 25-12 here at Hormel Stadium. Again, Boston now 6-3, New York 2-7. On behalf of our camera person, Dana Matson, I'm Jeff Poster, and we'll see you next time.